pension explainer video. Now, don't panic for those of you that are pensioning for the first time. I'm going to try and explain to you in a step-by-step way how to do it, but do check out the locum survival guide on mylocummanager.com/resources. It's a great step-by-step account with lots of pictures and really easy to follow language to help show you what the pension process is and how you can navigate it. So let's begin. So I'm going to keep this really high level and simple and straightforward. If you have any other questions, just WhatsApp, email, call us, and happy to help you through. So what you'll have on your MLM calendar is all the jobs that you've done for the month, and the system will recognise those that are inclusive of pension or those that need pension added on top. So to keep it really simple, there are 3 things you're going to do to pension. So first of all, the pension forms are going to be submitted every single month. Typically, most locums like me, at the end of the month, you send out your invoices, and then a week or 2 later, you start preparing your forms and sorting out your pension payments. So take-home point is your pension process happens monthly. It's 3 steps, essentially. The first is creating your invoices and a pension form A for every invoice. So if you've worked at 3 practices in March, you'll create 3 invoices in that month with 3 pension forms Form A's, 1 for each practice. The Form A is essentially like a receipt that you've actually received that pensionable pay from the practice. The second step is you're going to mark your invoices as paid once you've checked that that money's come into your account. And then the third step is creating a pension Form B and then sending those forms and those payments to the right places. And I'm going to talk you through this now. So first step, so in March, I've done all my sessions and I'm now going to invoice for the work that I've done. So just to keep it really simple, I'm going to just select 1 practice, but you would do this for all the practices that you've worked for. So if I select those 2 sessions for March, you'll see all the sessions that I've done for March are listed on here, and there's a total amount that the practice has to pay me. I'm now going to attach a pension Form A by clicking on this toggle here. Now you'll see that an additional amount has been added to that payment amount, and that's the practice's pension contribution to my pension. So I've now got a new total that the practice is going to pay me, which is made up of my locum fee and my pension contribution on top. So I then check this and I generate the invoice by pressing on that button. Once the invoice is generated, it will also auto-populate the Form A for me, and I will then send that through to the practice by email. The practice will check it and they can authorise it electronically, so then it is stored on my Locum Manager account. So let's view that invoice. So here's the invoice. I check it and I send it to the practice. I can also edit what I'm sending the practice. So I could say, anything, I don't know, please make payment kind of whenever, although that's often automated when you set up your account settings. So you can put whatever you want in that message and you send it through to the practice. So that's been sent alongside the pension Form A. And here in invoices and pending payment, you'll see my pension Form A is viewable. I'm going to click it here so you can see it. And you can also see the invoice. So that's the Form A that would have been completely auto-populated with those sessions, and the amount is there and the practice code is there. So it just requires the practice to sign it. Okay, so the next step is step 2, marking the invoices as paid. So I've sent my invoice, I've sent my pension Form A. A few days later or a week later, the practice has paid me, the money's hit my bank account. So I now go to pending payments, invoices that are pending payment, and I mark it as paid. So 13th of March, save it. Now that's really important for the system because it just uses that data to first of all authorise the fact that payments come through, and second of all to generate my monthly pension Form B. So once I've marked all my invoices as paid, my next step is to generate a pension Form B. So go to pension forms and pension Form B. Now, I was paid for the work in March, so I'm going to generate a pension form in March. One common slip up locums make is they've been paid in 1 month, but they're now in April, but they marked as paid in March, and they're trying to generate a form in April. The form will be generated according to the date you were paid. So here you can see, generate the form. So now my Falcon Road Medical Centre payments have been added along with the other work that I did in that month. A common question I get is, how do I know as a locum how much I've got to pay into the pension scheme? Well, that's based on your tiered contribution rate. So mine here is ticked as 13.5%, and it's basically based on how much you're estimated to earn, and there's a bracket for each tier. When you set up on MLM, there's a drop-down menu, so you can estimate by clicking on the tier that you think is going to be relevant for you, and you can obviously update it every year if you go over or under that. So here you'll see a lovely summary. So it just shows me exactly what I'm paying into my pension, and it shows me a summary of what the practices have paid and what I need to pay based on my tier rate, and gives me a total. So what I do now is I can either make a bank transfer for that amount or write a cheque. So the next question that comes up is, where do these forms go? So if you're in England, you will send the forms here to Primary Care Support England. So you can download the forms, the Form B, by clicking on this arrow here, and download your Form A's. And then you just click on that hyperlink and upload your 3 Form A's if you did 3 different sessions, or your 1 Form A, however it might be, alongside your Form B onto Primary Care Support England's website. Now, one other nuance to get your head around is, if only the powers that be made everything simple, your forms go to one place, they go here, your payment goes to NHS England's bank account. So to find out the bank account number, you must call Primary Care Support England, and they will give you the number over the phone. They do not print the number anywhere on their website or allow anyone else to do it because of data protection. So if you're paying in your pension for the first time, just click on that link. It will take you through to their website and get the bank details from them. Once it's set up on your banking app, you don't need to do that again. If you're in Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland, you can click on these hyperlinks, which are on the Pension Form B section, and it will take you to information on where you send your forms and where your payments go to. It's usually your local health board. So I hope that was really useful. I'm just going to recap it really quickly. The pension process is actually really straightforward. Do download the Locum Survival Guide on the resources section of mylocumanager.com. But essentially, 4 take-home points. Point 1, you're going to generate an invoice and pension Form A for every practice that you've worked at, and you do that every month. You then mark that invoice as paid, and then you generate a pension Form B based on the month you were paid. So I was paid in March, so I've generated a March pension Form B. Step 4 is downloading the forms or printing them and uploading them or sending them to your relevant pensions authority, depending on whether you're in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland. If you're in England, your forms go to Primary Care Support England, but your payment goes to NHS England's bank account, which you find out by giving them a call. So I hope that was really useful. Any questions, just contact us, and happy to help in any way.